I really just wish that Universal would put this back in print.
They don't really
Like,
care about some things. Like it's so clear that they only want to be known as the 1925 version. Like when I wanted to watch Werewolf of London, that's the original Wolfman film from Universal.
yeah,
I have to get that Blu-ray from the Wolfman series where you could just buy the Wolfman on Blu-ray and get the other things on the Frankenstein set because it's all of his other films are with other monsters. Why would you
yeah,
buy the Wolfman one? Well, if you want to watch Werewolf of London, you have to get that. Also, there's like She-Wolf or whatever.
yeah.
So it's just tough. And other films that are from Universal in this time period are even tougher to get. Like I can't fucking buy Freaks. Like
Yeah, oh yeah. That's
and
another one.
there's it's so tough when you're like a horror fan
And if you
and you're
do get
trying to
it, if you do get Freaks, it's gonna be edited
yeah.
because they took a bunch of scenes out of it. Not a bunch of scenes, but they took some really fucked up scenes out of it because they're the censors were like, no, 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 we're not doing
Yeah.
that.
Ruined Todd Browning's career.
Yeah, I mean, like and it's something that like I think they might have like destroyed the footage too. Like you can't get it.
Yeah.
Because that was the era like they weren't thinking about film preservation as much. Like,
And you know, it's tough because when you're getting into horror, you watch the ones that you got into when you were younger or whatever, and it gets you more into like, oh, I want to check out other films. I want to watch this. I want to watch that. And as you get farther and farther down the list, you start crossing off names. You're like, I got this, I got this, I got this. You know, sometimes you get to films that you really want to watch, or sometimes you get to films that are really important, and it's like, I can't get access to it, and it sucks. I've mentioned before how I wanted to watch Peeping Tom for years, and if it wasn't on Amazon, it would have been tougher to even be able to find a way to easily digest it. Now they got the Blu-ray and everything, but some of these films it's just not that easy.
there's a Blu-ray for Peeping Tom now.
Yeah, it's like it's not that much either.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I want to get it,
I missed their physical media, and I didn't fucking know that. That sucks.
but horror is a big franchise where a lot of the times you want to see certain films and you got to play the waiting game.
Yeah, that's kind of the shady thing. Like I know like in the circles I'm in, like everyone makes such a big deal out of like when they finally release a movie on Blu-ray that hasn't had even like a DVD release. Just like y'all, if you're not gonna put it up on a streaming service or if you're not gonna put it up somewhere, like you need to make sure that these movies are able to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde movies. I only saw the 41 version because the Criterion channel had it for a while. And same with the 31 version. You can't get them on Blu-ray. The 31 version is a very renowned, fantastic movie, especially in the horror community, and I have to buy it on DVD. Like,
Yeah.
really, man? Come on.
I mean, like,
41,
I don't care about buying things on DVD as long as I can watch the movie. But I mean, like at the end of the day, you want to be able to see it the best way you can.
yeah.
And
Like
it's not like they don't own the movie; like they can put it out on Blu-ray.
yeah, I wanted to watch Abominable Doctor Fibes. They didn't have it on a Blu-ray where it was accessible.
Don't
And
know.
yeah, and my girlfriend got it for me on DVD. I said, we watched it. It's like, awesome. Thanks so much. Like, I wish we didn't have to get the DVD because if we get the Blu-ray, it's gonna be like, what do we do with this DVD now? And I got the Blu-ray now,
Yeah,
thankfully, because they reissued it. But
yeah, we both got it.
these things should be easier for people to see. We have services like Shutter now where you can watch more horror films, but a lot of the classics aren't on there. So, you better just get lucky.
The nice thing, I guess, the nice thing about having like old DVDs that like you've upgraded to Blu-rays. Like if you have a friend that's like not seen a movie, like you can say, hey man, like you should check this out. I have it.
Mm-hmm.
I can lend it to you, and if you like it, you can keep it because I already have it on Blu-ray or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
if you're
I've done that to you before.
yeah, but if you're lonely, you're just fucked, and it just is another example of like saying, "Hey, you don't have friends. Linger with this loser."
Yeah, I mean, your only other option at that point is to donate at Goodwill or something, and it's just
Yeah,
like that sucks. I mean,
exactly. Or
hey,
you
it's
can get a
cool.
dollar and 50 cents for it. Just kidding. It's definitely 50 cents at FYE.
That's generous.
Yeah, you will get if it's in bad condition or something nobody wants, you'll get like literally a penny.
FYE, I know I've gotten a penny.
Yeah,
FYE is GameStop of physical media selling.
There's marginally
They're
worse.
worse.
I'd say.
Yeah, so
They're way worse.
they're worse. It's bad.
Getting $5 for like a $60 game you got 8 years ago is one thing, but if you bought a DVD from like 5 months ago, they'll still give you like at most $2, and you're like, you're really gonna be a fucking dick about this, man. Like,
I remember
I bought this here, and they're like, the store policy. It's like, you're a fucking 45-year-old working at FYE, and you're gonna tell me store policy, dude. Get a fucking life. Give me like at least $5. Like, come on, dude. I bought this here 5 months ago.
Yeah, I love. I used to go to FYE in our town a lot as a teenager, and I would bring them like a fat stack of fucking DVDs to trade in to buy myself a new movie that I really wanted to see, like a new Blu-ray. And I would bring them a big stack and be like, "Here you go, $11." Like, what?
It's fucking terrible.
I gave you it like minimum, especially because like I bet you anything if I looked up on eBay the price of some of the movies I gave them, they're probably worth
5 times as much.
Yeah, like I have
selling
some,
a DVD on eBay. Your odds are it's not gonna be less than $5 unless it's like a big group deal.
I was a fucking idiot as a kid selling things I definitely should not have sold. Yikes.
I can't think of anything I sold that was a DVD that I was like, oh, I fucked up. Like, there's some games I've sold and I'm like, like I kind of would like to play that again, but it is what it is.
The only time I get annoyed is when it's something I know I can't get readily.
Yeah.
Then I get annoyed.
Like, I get annoyed when I have to go back and find DVDs of movies I want to watch because I don't have a Blu-ray of it. I'm like, dude, I gotta go fucking dig into the shelves, man. I want to kill myself. I don't want to do diggings.
Yeah, I mean, I'll look through, be like, oh man, how much is it to upgrade? Like, how much is it to upgrade? And it's just like, they're like, nah, bro, it's like 30. Like, the only person who has a Blu-ray for this is like Kino and Lorber, and it's like $35. It's like, oh my god, it's fucking stupid.
If it's over $20, I probably won't do it.
Scream Factory also is a big one. Like, I love Scream Factory Blu-rays.
They're expensive usually though.
They're like, I waited months to get Drag Me to Hell because it was $30 for a long time.
That's why when you mentioned that the Howling was like for $15, I'm like, well, maybe I should look into that.
Yeah, it's just like that for what's it called, a Scream Factory. That's pretty fucking good.
I remember because Scream Factory has all the Power Ranger series, and
yeah,
when Netflix said, "Oh yeah, we're only gonna leave Mighty Morphin on," which I'm gonna get into that because I'm fucking pissed about it. But they have 26 to 30 series, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of most of it." It's like, great. I have to go out buying DVDs now of a fucking kids cartoon that I want to watch readily, and it's only in DVD. They don't have it in Blu-ray, which I'm pretty sure just comes down to they just didn't film it in a high enough quality where you could make it Blu-ray and look decent. So I get it. I get it.
It's usually more so they don't think that they can make money off of the movie, or
dude, they make so much money off of Mighty Morphin if they
no, I know.
Blu-ray. They know that. Scream Factory knows it. They did a special edition where they made it in Blu-ray and the shit fucking sold out.
I don't know what they filmed Mighty Morphin on, but they filmed it in a good enough they filmed on a good enough stock so that they could fucking make a Blu-ray set out of a limited edition Blu-ray set out of it. From what I hear, it looked really good. So that's not it.
I don't know though, because some of the other series just don't hold up as well. I don't understand why, but they just don't look that great.
One of the big things is that they when they remaster these shows, they finish effects at a certain resolution, and when you make the movie a higher resolution than those effects, they look horrible.
Yeah.
So that's part of that,
I'm sure, but just in general.
Also, there's a cheap ass show to begin with.
Yeah, well, when Netflix took it off, it's like you gotta go searching for the DVDs. It's like if you wanted to buy Mighty Morphin and not get like the box set, you're gonna drop fucking $10 to $20 per part, and they're broken up in 3 parts per season. So you're looking at like $90 unless you get the box set, which thankfully they've reissued, and instead of it being $120, it's like $60 now, which is pretty decent and affordable. I'd say it's worth it
for a DVD set.
That's the thing. You're spending $60 for a DVD set.
Well, if it was a Blu-ray, it'd be double that. So
120 episodes, you're probably looking at close to $200, but
yeah,
I'd still say that's expensive to to look at for a DVD set. And I think it's worth it and it's great, but you're spending $120 for a big DVD set. It's like, really, dude? And every season after that is just the complete series. They didn't do parts anymore because they're like, hey, people are getting mad at us for fucking taking all their money and being assholes.
Yeah.
But having complete series means, okay, cool. It's still going to be $50 or whatever per series. Well, they didn't do it after Mighty Morphin. They did it after In Space, I believe, or no, after Lost Galaxy. But still, that's expensive. And if you want to get from Zeo to In Space as complete series instead of buying all the parts, you got to buy a box set, which is another $120. It's like, dude, this is just fucking breaking my bank over some dumbasses in some skin tight costumes. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of why I just at this point haven't chased down the Power Rangers series, especially like I really wanted that Blu-ray set when they were making it.
Good look.
I'm not getting it now, obviously, but when it was coming out, I was like, man, I would totally buy that just because like the steelbooks were so cool looking and all that stuff, and it's like it's on Blu-ray, it's limited edition. They're the only people who are gonna make a Blu-ray out of this because they literally own the distribution rights for fucking Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So if anybody's gonna do it, it's gonna be them because no one else is gonna be able to do it. So basically, that's kind of the thing with Scream Factory. I love Scream Factory and I hate them because it's like basically they'll get the rights for something and then they'll strong arm you into either buying it or losing out.
Or yeah, it's like, hey, we're not making another one. It's like, really, man, you're really
Yeah,
doing it to me.
it's like I just watched Manhunter. It's Michael.
That's the first one that same series as Silence of the Lamb, right?
Yeah, it's what they did a movie called Red Dragon, which
That's
is what
the
it's
same story, Red Dragon.
yeah, it's the same story.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that version of the movie, but I have no doubt this one's better because one of them is directed by Brett Ratner and one of them is directed by Michael Mann. So, but
Edward
I just
Norton's
watched,
in Red Dragon though.
yeah, I mean that's cool. It's definitely cool, but this one's directed by Michael Mann.
People tend to forget that that's part of that same universe, Silence of the Lambs, the Manhunter one.
Like
Red Dragon's more connected.
That's kind of it's also because Red Dragon has Anthony Hopkins in it, whereas this one's like this one's very segmented off. If you don't read this, like when I read when I saw the poster for, I'm like, oh, it's Michael Mann, I'll watch it, but it's they don't tell you, like you have to read the synopsis to find out Hannibal Lecter's in it.
Yeah,
and he's barely in it. He's not really in it that much, so it really does stand on its own, and it's fucking awesome. It's an incredible movie. Scream Factory had the rights to Blu-ray. I mean, you can buy another Blu-ray of it. Don't get me wrong. There's a Blu-ray. I don't know if it's still in print or not, but they had a Scream Factory collector's edition for it. And now that I've seen the movie, I'm angry that I don't own it and it's out of print and they're not going to put it back in print. So yeah, fuck me, I guess. That's the kind of thing I hate. It's just like, if you didn't get it on the dot for some of those movies, you're never going to get it.
Yeah.
Like, you're just not going to get it. Like, I think the most expensive thing that I own as far as like value right now is their Halloween set because it's limited edition. I have the 15 disc set and it's worth like, I think it's going for like $250, maybe a little bit less than that. So like that's kind of thing that they do. Like they're a smaller distribution company. Although at this point though, it's tough to call them that because they produce such high profile shit like Power Rangers,
Halloween Friday
sets, they get some mega franchises and stuff. So it's kind of tough to call them a small label at this point now, but they are, compared to studios, they're a smaller label. So they make their money back on charging more for their Blu-rays and then having it be like a collector's item so people buy them quickly.
Yeah.
And I get that. It's really frustrating as a collector.
Yeah.
To do that. It's like Criterion doesn't some things go out of print with Criterion, but like with Criterions, you buy them, most of them stay the way that they are. You're not going to lose a lot of them. Like they just had one go out of print that I really wanted, Don't Look Now, with Donald Sutherland, but it doesn't happen that often. And when it does, it's bad because I looked up, it's $80 now.
That's cool.
So I'll never buy it. But yeah, that kind of shit pisses me off. I just hate when things go out of print in general, but when it's something that's licensed out to a different place, I get it. Because it's like they can't maintain the license forever. And sometimes they won't want to renew the license, like the people who hold it. So like the people who own Don't Look Now, they just put out their own Blu-ray for it. They took it back so they could sell their own Blu-ray. So that happens from time to time. But that kind of shit pisses me off.
Yeah.
Very frustrating.
Cool. I'm gonna use that as the outtake.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I looked up the Peeping Tom Blu-ray. It's a Region B Blu-ray.
Is it the one on Amazon?
Yeah. So I can't buy it. Otherwise, I would. I think the only one, like, there's a Japanese version, which is probably going to be all region because they usually are from Japanese. Yeah. Problem is that they're it's $60.
Hmm.
So I'm hopefully that's still on Amazon to watch, because otherwise I'll be waiting years to see it again.